Welcome to MMA Under 10. I am your host, John Strasser.
And I'm the co-host, Alex Giuliani.
Hooray! This is our UFC 118 post-fight analysis, and let's just get right to it. Joe Lauzon raped Gabe Rudiger. If you did not see this fight, you missed out. The weigh-ins, Gabe Rudiger gave him a cake. It said, "Sorry for your loss." That is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. You know, people always talk shit leading into the fights. Gave him a cake. And apparently it tasted terrible because Joe Lauzon raped him. Got submission of the night, $60,000 in his pocket. It was awesome. First fight on the main card, Nate Diaz with fight of the night against Marcus Davis. They both took home an extra $60,000. What's next for Nate Diaz?
I don't know. Nate Diaz, he's pretty good in the division right now. He's coming up. Maybe he could fight somebody like Swick. I don't know.
I would like to see that. His problem at 155 was the wrestlers would take him down and not really do anything. So I think if they keep him with somebody that's going to stand and bang, his odds are definitely much better. Marcus Davis, 1-3 in his last 4 fights. Is it time to see him versus the New York badass Bill Baroni in a loser leaves the UFC fight?
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool setup. He seems like he's on his way out. He keeps getting cut up really bad.
37 years old.
Yeah, we were talking about he's on indefinite suspension right now, pending the way, I think it's a CT scan on his face because, every time he fights...
Just look at the guy.
Yeah. he looks terrible, and his face gets mauled every time he fights.
So one more fight, and you're out of here, Davis. Next up, we got a new #1 contender to the lightweight belt, Gray Maynard, with a unanimous decision against Kenny Florian. We were pretty shocked by that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all, especially with Kenny Florian being in his hometown of Boston, the first UFC in Massachusetts. I thought that was really going to help him out. And also, in his last fight against Gomi, he looked amazing in the stand-up. And I couldn't believe that Maynard was... Maynard pretty much schooled him the entire fight in the stand-up.
It was not close at all.
Yeah, Florian really couldn't do anything. So, really surprised by that. Yeah, Maynard...
Are you interested in seeing Edgar fight Maynard for the belt?
Not really.
Do you really want to watch a 5-round decision? Because you know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Edgar's gonna dance around him. He'll probably... You think he'll try to take Edgar or Maynard down?
I don't really remember what happened in their first fight. I know it went to a decision.
Yeah.
And Maynard won. I definitely think since then Edgar has gotten 10 times better.
A lot faster.
I think Edgar wins that fight. I hope he wins that fight. I like him more than I like Maynard. Yeah. But I don't expect it to be fun to watch. I definitely don't want that to be the main event on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably have to throw it on something else with, another title fight that's more interesting, like a GSP or a Brock Lesnar. Other than that, Couture did exactly what everyone thought he would do. Takes down James Toney, submits him. What do you see for Randy after this? Is he a fight away from a title shot?
No, not at all. I see him fighting. I think a rematch with Big Nog would probably be in order. That's where I could see that going. But who else does he?
Well, he's been fighting at 205 before this last fight. He'll probably go back down to that division.
Do you think he fights loser of Cain Dos Santos?
Of Cain Lesnar?
Or of Cain? No.
I think he's gonna fight at light heavyweight no matter what. He might fight the loser of Rampage Machida. Couture's a huge name. He's going to draw pay-per-view buys. It doesn't matter who he's going against. And really, they've never done it. This guy deserves a title shot. It's who's going to bring in the most money.
Yeah.
Couture's, top 5 biggest names in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say he's one fight away from a title shot at 205.
Yeah.
BJ Penn lost another 5-round decision to Frankie Edgar, but this time it wasn't even close. Do you even want to see BJ continue to fight, or is it just really hurting his legacy?
It's... I don't know. I'm really disappointed. Me and you both wanted BJ to win. We thought he was going to win. But, it's just like he's not trying anymore. And, it confuses me. I don't know where he's going, really. He keeps coming out and saying that he wants to fight as much as possible. I don't know if he feels like the clock is ticking or what's going on. I don't get his logic at all right now.
BJ Penn is definitely an enigma. You have no idea what you're going to get with him. Sometimes he comes out and looks like he could tear through anybody,
Yeah.
and then other times, GSP demolishes him when he's supposedly, unbeatable at that point. He's got the fire in his belly.
Had grease on his back, so
I'll give you that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he fights Gomi again. They had a nice fight a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. He's definitely lost his main event status.
Oh yeah,
And
you lose to the same, and it's not like he lost to the same guy twice and it was another close decision. Like I would have understood that, but he came in and looked worse.
he easily lost all 5 rounds.
Yeah, easily, and it didn't look like Edgar had improved at all. It didn't look like Edgar had changed his strategy at all. BJ knew what he was getting into coming in. He could have watched the tape and knew exactly what was going to happen the second time around, but he didn't do anything. It looked like once he realized that he couldn't get any punches in and land that many strikes and get into Edgar's inside of Edgar's striking zone, then he just quit. It looked like.
I would have thought he would have brought somebody in like WEC bantamweight champ Dominic Cruz, who fights almost exactly like Frankie Edgar, but faster.
Yeah.
So if you train for somebody that's faster than your opponent,
Yeah.
then really Frankie Edgar should appear slow to him.
Yes.
And obviously, he didn't do anything close to that. So who knows what's next for BJ Penn. They have announced some fights coming up. Vitor Belfort is making his return against Yushin Okami. Winner of that fight fights the winner of Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen again. You think Vitor is going to beat Yushin?
I would think so. We haven't really seen that much from Vitor. I mean, he beat Rich Franklin.
A year ago this month.
Yeah, a year ago. I mean, who's to say where Vitor's at anymore? I think he's always going to be fast. I don't know if he's ever going to lose that. Okami. I think he beats Okami. I don't see Okami winning that fight, but
it's weird how they have this set up because Vitor could almost Karo Parisian himself. Karo was guaranteed a title shot against Matt Hughes at UFC 56. Got hurt, they gave it to Joe Riggs, and Karo never got a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Vitor was supposed to fight Anderson Silva back at 112,
Yep.
got hurt.
Yep.
Now he's fighting somebody and could lose that title shot.
Yeah.
So now you got that, but you also have Rashad Evans, who is guaranteed a title shot against Shogun, and has said he will not fight until he gets that title shot, which could be next summer.
Yeah, I read that.
Now, do you like that idea? Do you think that's smart? I mean, he's waiting.
On Evans's part?
Yeah.
I don't know, not really. I mean, why is he... I don't know why he feels the need to stay out for that long. I mean, he's just wasting time. He's wasting, like a year of his career.
The only thing I
pretty
can
much.
think of is that he's afraid that if he fights another top contender, that's it. He's going to lose that spot. Because he didn't look that great against Thiago Silva. He got rocked in that fight.
Yeah.
He got rocked against Quentin Jackson.
So Quentin was pretty much was out of the fight.
And he's already had the belt. I would think if you had never had a shot at the title, I could understand that. But you've already been champ. You know what it's like.
Exactly, yeah.
We're running close on time, so let's go ahead and get to our ending topic. What is your favorite knockout of all time?
I mean, I have, lots of favorites, but I would have to say Houston Alexander versus Keith Jardine. Just because that fight was so crazy. I mean, Jardine thought he had the fight won, and that's, really how he lost the fight. He rocked Houston really badly. Houston, didn't Houston go like that down on a knee or something?
Well,
he was
He
almost...
got clipped with a right and fell backwards.
Yeah.
And then got right back up and uppercutted him to the moon.
Like 10,000 times. The worst uppercuts ever. And when Jardine's face hit the canvas, his mouthpiece just immediately pops out, and I thought his jaw fell off because it was that brutal. But yeah, that's my favorite, I think.
My favorite knockout, for many reasons, Rashad Evans over Chuck Liddell. Liddell has always been my least favorite fighter, and Rashad Evans killed him. He literally killed him, and luckily the doctors at ringside were able to bring him back from the dead. It was unbelievable, and we're running out of time. I wish I could talk about it more, because nothing is better than watching Chuck get knocked out. However, we're out of time. MMA Under 10, I'm John Strasser.
Alex Giuliani.
Boom!